dive in and answer these questions. If you guys have questions on what's available out of your area, will you let me know? Just put it in the chat and I'll be filling you in on the details. Do you have a drop yard in Omaha? We do not have a drop yard in Omaha. We do hire out of Omaha in both the refrigerated and flatbed division. The refrigerated can get you home on a weekly basis. We guarantee you $12.50 a week minimum. Of course, your rate of pay is going to be based off of your experience. So the number of years of experience you have will determine your rate of pay. I just said that. Anywhere from, someone who is a trainee up to 70 cents a mile, which is our max for experienced drivers. 70 cents. 10 cents of that's per diem, so you're not taxed on it. And that doesn't include any bonuses, any extra pays. That's just the base, like cents per mile. So, yeah. Do we have 1099s? Yes. For those who are interested in the lease purchase, or if you're an owner-operator, yeah, we have a 1099. Other than that, we're company drivers. So W-2, yes. Virginia, where about in Virginia are you? If you live in the areas along 95 there, we have flatbed. I don't think we have any refrigerated currently in Virginia, but if you want to give me your zip code, I can maybe be more specific. And how much experience do you have? And then I can give you some numbers too. Southwest Virginia. All right. Let's take a look. Let's look at some of our freight here. Southwest Virginia. Oops. Can I spell? Maybe. You're at a 24360. So Max Meadows area. I've got flatbed. I do have flatbed. Do you have any flatbed experience at all? Or are you looking for flatbed? If that's the case, or if you have at least a year of tractor trailer, we can, you have 24 years of experience. Oh, then you're golden. As long as you're looking for flatbed, then we can help you out. We can get you home on basically every other weekend. Von Ormy, Texas. Yes, we can get you home every other weekend in the Virginia area there. 1 year of experience, only 1 year of flatbed. Well, 1 year of flatbed would be fine as long as flatbed's what you want, because that's all I've got out of there. And then I didn't see, let's see. What was the name on that? Bertronics, we do have refrigerated out of your area. So it's over the road, so it's about 2 to 3 weeks out at a time. And you can run either coast to coast, which a lot of that's going to be west and Midwest, or you can run more like Midwest and East. So if you don't want the longer lengths of runs, or if you don't want to go out west, then again, we can run you about 2 to 3 weeks. It'd be basically Denver East for the most part. But you guys, no matter what, when it comes to refrigerated, the majority of the freight, like, we're real heavy in the Midwest. So no doubt there. Let's see. I ended up coming to orientation on the 27th. Not bad so far. I got 2023 579. You did? How lucky did you get? The odds of getting a brand new truck are not high coming right out. Well, good for you. Good deal. I'm glad you made her. Yeah. So you made it just in time for that extra bonus, right? Mm-hmm. Yellowbird Piano Transport. Hey. All right. Okay, so did I answer Von Ormy, Texas? I don't know if I'm saying that right. I should put a disclaimer, I'm from Montana, and that shouldn't necessarily mean anything, but I might pronounce some of the locations elsewhere. Like, I always think of Atlanta, like Helene, is it Helena? Helena at Georgia? Or Helena, Georgia, I think, right? Yeah, we call it Helena. So, anyways, whatever. 2,000 miles, yes. 20,000 miles, awesome. So that's pretty darn new. Fantastic. Yeah, love that. I got it. There we go. Okay, cool beans. What was the other location that I was being asked? Let's investigate. Hey, you guys, I asked this a little bit earlier. So I do a Facebook Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Central. Just a little plug there for Decker Truck Line. It's facebook.com/DTL Inc. So Decker Truck Line Incorporated. And then every Tuesday at noon Central, we do a YouTube Live. But basically those are, it's very similar to this, a little Q&A, a little more Decker focused when it comes to the Facebook, because it's more so for our drivers, our current drivers, and then YouTube is answering a lot of questions for those who aren't Decker drivers but are looking. What area are you hiring for drivers? The easier way to answer that is actually if you give me your area, your zip code, I can tell you if you're in the area and what we have. But for a full-blown, like real quick, let me see if I can balloon this message out to you. Areas of the Midwest are real heavy hiring areas for us. We hire in areas of the West, especially the Northwest and the Southeast. Don't do a whole lot in the Northeast. But that's like a generalized question. But I in Northern California is not currently within our hiring area. We're pretty packed there for the number of drivers we have and the freight we have there. We wouldn't be able to bring on more and still guarantee everybody home time. What does it say? Why does it say regional in areas that you don't offer regional? It shouldn't. Where, can you tell me where do you live? Let's start there. It shouldn't. Our regional positions are like home weekly positions. So you'd be running, for the most part, areas of the Midwest. I'm assuming if you're in refrigerated, flat areas of the Midwest for flatbed. I don't really have any regional currently available anywhere else. There are some times that we have regional in other, like I have a regional dedicated position out of Dallas, Texas. It's full, but that sometimes that's available. Does that answer your question? Because it shouldn't say regional if there isn't a regional. We also have a more regional position out of the Northwest, more than over the road. It's just kind of, it is a way for us to kind of decipher between our OTR division, where you're out 2 to 3 weeks, and those divisions that we can offer maybe 12 to 14 or 10 to 12 home every 10 to 12 days, which if you look at Seattle and Missoula, Montana, we can get you home every 10 to 12 days. Your miles aren't going to be as strong as if you were over the road, 2 to 3 weeks out, but I think it's a given for anybody who knows trucking. But so that's more regional to us, but whether or not it's regional to you, I'm just going to give you the days out. I'm going to be more specific, because then you can determine if that fits what you're looking for. Kind of qualify us for you instead of vice versa, although obviously we'd have to do vice versa in the long run. Midwest Flatbedder, hello from Iowa. Heck yeah. Good to have you aboard. User says, right now I haul the mail on the West Coast and it pays pretty good. I like it. Perfect. Are you doing doubles? I know a lot of you guys hauling mail are doing doubles. For those that I know, I guess. Cool. From Kingman, Arizona. Kingman, we do have over the road out of there. You'd be out about 3 weeks at a time. For every 7 days you're out, we figure a day and a half home time. So, like for instance, Arizona Bolt, we would get you home, like I said, about every 3 weeks. So you're looking like 4 or 5 days home on your home time. I know not everybody takes that when you're over the road driver, but yeah. Just 53-foot drive-in. Still, good deal. Cool. That's awesome. That's good option. Great. They're doing well. It depends on the individual, but yeah, doing well. Higher qualifications, obviously, for that one. It's completely full. It has been full for quite some time now. We haven't done any advertising or any marketing for that. I haven't even talked about that elite fleet for, dang, it's been a while. Maybe over a year. It hasn't been 2 years, has it? I'm losing track of time. It's been a long time. It was only open for a short time because it filled fast for that elite. What he's referring to is a division that is in the Midwest that runs refrigerated. It's a higher paying guaranteed pay for us. Like we have guaranteed pay all across the board, but that one, the customers on that one it was a lot of meat and it was paying a higher guaranteed pay. And so therefore, obviously we were guaranteeing a higher guaranteed pay because the contracts were better. Higher. Yeah. Wichita, Kansas, Road Life Trucker. Let's see. Wichita. Where are we at? Hey there, how are you? 406? No, 4106. Okay. I see 406, I think Montana. Like, are you guys like that? If you're your area code, you're like automatically honed in on it, like the rest of Montana inside. Okay, so Wichita, we've got refrigerated. That's about 2 weeks out at a time for us as well. So in that refrigerated division, and you'd be home, for a day and a half for every 3 days. So you're looking like 3-4 days home out of Wichita. Yep. Kevin says, why would anybody want to be 3 weeks at 6 weeks at a time? That's the only way. That's the only way I'm trying to read your comment. Sorry. If you guys wouldn't have to be out that long. Well, it depends on the division. So we have a lot of over the road, not dedicated. So the dedicated they don't, obviously, a lot of the dedicateds don't end up being as dedicated as you want. That's why a lot of different companies will hire a dedicated position, and you'll notice that it might not last very long. It's because the customers, they try to make it work, but then the customers and the logistics of it doesn't always work very well. So yeah, the out time, the way that we do it and the systems that we have, the logistics systems that we work with, it is for the most part, about 2 to 3 weeks out. 3 to 6 weeks at a time, if that's what you're saying, and I'm assuming this was voice to text because I don't quite understand what you're writing there, but 3 to 6 weeks at a time is quite a bit longer. It does depend, obviously, where you live. There are areas that I can't hire out of because we can't get you home. So it'd be silly to, promise you something that I can't do. Common price of cheap guys. I don't know. Yeah. That was, the 4106 was your military battle roster number. Very cool. Thank you for your service. Move hundreds of truckloads of goods in one move. Yeah? Well, I'm not a dispatcher. But that's why I'm here, so that you can have full transparency. So that you know what we do have to offer. I wasn't hiding it. That's why I'm telling you. But oh, railroad. There you go. Yeah. Quite a few. I'm surrounded by railroaders here. And of course, family members, railroaders. Yeah. Very good. Excellent. So let's see, 1099. So that was the question that I was getting. Yes, we do have some 1099 options, which would be owner-operator or lease purchase. Lease purchase, though, we do require that you run as a company driver for at least 90 days first. Here's why. Because it's a business. If you don't run it as a business, and if you don't have good on-time delivery, if you're not managing your fuel, you're idling too much, it's probably not going to be a successful business for you. And with our lease purchase program, it's a walkaway lease. We don't want to see you fail. you know, if we don't feel that you're going to be a success at it, we don't want to move you into the lease purchase program. So that's why we have the requirement of the 90 days. So it's kind of a safety net for you. But that being said, it's a walkaway lease because we have the 90-day requirement as a company driver. There's no down payment required for you right now. It pays 72% of the load plus the fuel surcharge. Now, as a refrigerated driver, we pay the reefer fuel. Decker pays the reefer fuel. You're just responsible for the tractor fuel, which is why you get 90% of the fuel surcharge on because of the reefer fuel or because of the truck fuel, but the 10% goes to reefer fuel since Decker takes care of that. If it's a dry load, you get 100%. If you're on flatbed, you're going to get 100% of the fuel surcharge too. Fuel conservation is a big thing right now on the railroad. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you all the way across that. Yep, I think it's a big deal everywhere right now, don't you think? Yeah. Okay, you guys, I totally got us off track. We were talking about rubber duckies and the phrase rubber ducky. You guys tell me. I heard multiple stories and I was researching it to figure out what the true story behind the phrase rubber ducky. Alexa, hi. Jackson says hi. Well, hello. Todd gets his, speaking of Jackson, Todd gets his jacket, his driver of the year jacket this week. It came in. Yeah. Anyways, but I want to know where the phrase rubber ducky, where did it come from? Because in the song Convoy, I think it was around before Convoy though, right? In the song Convoy, it basically is the leader of the pack. And that's where I'm finding a lot of the research going, saying that, yeah, rubber ducky means the person in the front of the convoy, the lead in the convoy. But then there were stories where rubber ducky came from a driver who had a rubber ducky keychain from his daughter. He needed to pass and he needed everybody to move. And so in just a hurry, he's like, rubber ducky, moving on the left. And everybody seemed to understand what he was talking about and it stuck. There's another story. And then another story that I heard was rubber duckies are referred to as RVs and campers and weird size vehicles, weird looking vehicles, not pedestrians, but like civilian drivers and stuff like that don't have their CDL, that could be a danger on the road. And so it's more of an endearing, kind way of saying, beat it. You're in danger or you need to move over, that type of thing. So where did rubber ducky come from? Where did that come from, you guys? I don't know. I really want to know though. Okay, so that was a sidetrack. You guys answer that for me while I answer these, okay? What kind of routes out of Kansas? So out of the Wichita area, this one is going to be more like well, I've got two options. You can run over the road where you're running out west and you're running a lot of Midwest. So that one, and like that one's probably closer to 3 weeks out than it is 2 weeks out. Okay. But then if you're looking for 2 weeks out, that one's going to be a lot of the West. And you basically draw a line at the Denver area, Colorado, and everything east of Colorado would be your running lane. Real heavy in the Midwest. Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Nebraska, Ohio, Minnesota, Michigan, Texas, Oklahoma. Those are going to be real heavy areas for you. But yeah, home time is about every 2 weeks if you're going to be running. Okay, so this is where we're going to say a little more regional, but it's mostly Midwest and you wouldn't be headed out west. That's the difference. And that's my train of thought, but that's still over the road. It's just more regional than my one that runs coast to coast and runs a whole lot west. A whole lot west. Fuel dictates our speed we run. Yeah, it does. It dictates where we fuel, how much we fuel, the cost of fuel does at least, where we fuel, how much we fuel. Idle time is really important. We have a bonus that's based off of not only just idle time, but fuel compliance, idle time, and of course several safety factors, but that pays out to the driver because it is a significant savings. So fuel for us, if you are an owner-operator or if you're a lease purchase individual and you're responsible for your fuel, I mean, you're still getting our savings. which is significant. It is on average 48 cents per gallon is what you're saving with us. And excuse me. So if you are an owner operator lease purchase, you know how important fuel solutions are. But if you're not using them, you're not saving the money you could be. I mean, and that's a significant amount. What's per gallon? Let's see. Let's see. Say you're filling up twice a week. So 600 gallons at, what did I say, 48 cents a mile. Well, that's roughly 50 cents a mile. So just shy of $300 a week. Montana. I'm based out of Montana. So we have a terminal in Fort Dodge, Iowa. We have a Bessemer, Alabama terminal. We have Missoula, Montana. We have Des Moines. We have a Des Moines shop. Des Moines, Iowa. Hammond, Indiana. Sperry. Yeah, so we've got a couple, but the main one is in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Iowa's the bear in the air. The bear in the... Why should I come to Decker? Well, it depends on if Decker's a good fit for you. Like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for over the road? Do you have experience? Are you looking to get into the industry? Do you have your CDL? Where do you live? Do you want flatbed? Do you want refrigerated? So I think Decker's a great company. I've been here since 2010. We opened the Missoula terminal in 2010. And then we just continuing. One of the best fleets to drive for, one of the top best fleets to drive for in 2022 and nominated again this year. Pretty jacked. We're finalists. That's really exciting for me. We're competing against a lot of really big companies, and in order to be nominated for, or in order to be a finalist for the best fleets to drive for, you have to be nominated, and you have to be nominated by one of your drivers. So, 2 years in a row. Pretty cool. So it doesn't necessarily say why you should come to Decker, but if you want to talk to one of the recruiters, they might be able to tell you more specifically why you should, based off of your expectations, your desires, what you're looking for. If it's a good fit. If it's not a good fit, then I like the company. Awesome equipment. 579 Peterbilts mostly. Who was just saying that they just got a 2023 Peterbilt right out of the gate? That's not normal, but we have some Volvos, we have some Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions, mostly the 579 Pete's though, newer model. And they come totally equipped. APUs, refrigerators, microwaves, CB units, Epic View satellite TV, 22-inch television, free Wi-Fi, double bunk, like tons of goods. Red River Division. That I am not aware of. I'm not sure what that is. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about the railroad, obviously, but I'm not familiar enough to know that. Rubber duck means to me calm on the outside, but running like hell on the inside. You know what? I wonder if that's. I wonder if that is not the definition for the most part, because you think of, I think of the song, and I think of the ways that it's used. So it could be. If I run Midwest, could I still run West occasionally? Yeah, you just need to communicate with your driver manager. And, are there certain times that you're looking to run West more often? And where, before I totally answer that question, where in the Midwest where in the West do you have family? Let's make sure we actually have freight there, because the West is a big area. If you're looking in an area that we don't have that we don't have freight, then I guess that totally negates everything that I just said, right? Okay. I am trying to read this. We used to get personal fuel cards for high rate fuel savings. Oh, even with the railroad? That's very cool. We use Pilot Flying J often. It's not the only one we use, but often, and a lot of our drivers use the fuel rewards card there, which gives lots of savings. We've got a great safety rating, but the exact number, let me investigate. I should probably find that out, huh? I should have that top of mind, but I leave that to my safety department. No, I'm looking. Give me a sec. Find the details. I can tell you we paid out $400 this week in clean inspections. So when our drivers go, if they get pulled in for an inspection or whatever, then it's $50 for a clean inspection, which obviously because of our safety rating, we don't get pulled in a whole lot, at least not randomly. But yeah, $50 per clean inspection. And let's see, last week $350 in bonuses. This week $400 in bonuses. Vehicle maintenance is great. So, goal-wise, let me see. I'll be calling. Okay, good. Steven, I'm sorry I didn't have like a great answer for you, but that would be like my best. Okay. Okay, so Rob Campbell. Our safety record, there's all the different basics, so I'm looking at those right now. The unsafe driving basic. So these are the different, for those of you who aren't familiar with the categories, that's the word I was looking for the different categories that the DOT is basing your safety record off of. There are 7, I believe. Yeah, 7 different categories, okay? So unsafe driving being one of them. And they all have different thresholds. If you meet or exceed that threshold, or if you're right at that threshold or exceed that threshold, then that's when you're starting to get pulled in for more inspections. It's like, you're getting the red light, so you don't have the green light to go. If you've got good points, or good ratings, I should say, then you're usually moving a lot better. Not worried about you, which is usually what we get. Those are the what I'm always hearing from our drivers, like, yeah, I don't have to worry about that. They see Decker and they're like, you guys are good. That's what I usually hear. So, unsafe driver, the threshold is 65%. Our goal is to be less than 20%. We're at 24% right now. Does that kind of give you an idea? So we've got a good rating. We can always improve, but we've got a really great rating. There we go. Hours of compliance is probably our worst one right now. We're right at the threshold, and that's because we have the TransFlow apps in our. Give me a sec. Let me show you. Okay, back. I'm back. Okay, so we have the TransFlow apps in our truck. They're tablets. Okay, and on those, when you're putting your hours of service on, oftentimes drivers forget to confirm, and that has got us all the time. We're constantly reminding people, make sure you confirm, make sure you're authorizing your hours of service, because if you're not compliant, if you're not confirming that, you're not, or verifying, I should say, then you're not compliant. Even though that you ran it, you did exactly what you were supposed to do, you just have to push the button that says verify. That gets us a lot, and it's a constant reminder. But other than that, hours of service wise, we're good. Another thing is we've increased our personal conveyance. Last year, a year and a half ago, it was 25 miles or 30 minutes for personal conveyance. This is a company discretion, by the way. And we've increased it to 50 miles and 1 hour. I have to think about that. That's terrible that I have to multiply by 2, Jess. Just kidding. But yeah, so we doubled it, basically. Not basically, totally. What else? Driver fitness. Threshold is 80% for driver fitness. We're at 27%. Our goal is to be less than 45. So we're awesome. We're great there. Drug and alcohol, we're currently at 0. And obviously we don't want to be anything above 0 on the drug and alcohol violations. The threshold is 80% on that. I personally feel that that's too high. That's my opinion. Okay, but we're at 0, so we're golden there. What else? What else am I at? Vehicle maintenance. Vehicle maintenance, the threshold is at 80. We're well below that. We're at 40, 41 to be exact. And our vehicle maintenance, we've increased our number of shops this last year. Actually, it was within the pandemic. We brought one in Des Moines, which was probably one of the hardest times to bring one in because of the pandemic. But we added one into Des Moines because it was more convenient for our drivers. We had more available mechanics in that area than Fort Dodge. Fort Dodge is small. And it's kind of out of the way, and Des Moines is more on the way for you guys, so it's like way more convenient. No way from Darby? That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, just south of Missoula. Very cool. But anyways, so the vehicle maintenance is great. We keep newer model equipment anyway, and that way when we rotate on the average age is about 18 months. And before the pandemic, we were at 16 months, which is ideal. But since the pandemic, a lot of you guys know that it takes a lot longer to get your trucks. Manufacturers, distributors, they're doing their best to get them out when they can, but they're low on manpower too, all across the nation. But anyways, so we're on an average of 18-month rotation, which means the oldest is around 400,000 or so for the mileage, 400,000 miles. Where was I going? Oh, vehicle maintenance. Hazardous material. We don't really do a whole lot of hazardous materials, so we're not applicable for that one. So it doesn't count. We don't have anything. We don't have numbers for that one. Crash indicator. Threshold is at 65. We want to make sure that we're at least less than 35. We're less than 10. So yeah. I feel we have a really good safety rating. Hope that answers your question. Well, it's got to answer your question. That's as specific as I can be. Seattle area, Road Life Trucker. Seattle area is great for us for a refrigerated division. It is over the road, but I mentioned earlier, and you might have missed it, that it is about 10 to 12 days out at a time that we can get you home and get you back into the Seattle area. You're not going to get as many miles, obviously, as if you're out 2 to 3 weeks at a time, because you're running we're going to consider it regional in our mind. It's still over the road. You're still running multiple states. Everybody's definition is tweaked just a little bit, so I want to make sure that it's still over the road. It's just not as over the road as some of our other divisions. Okay. What else do I want to say? It's refrigerated. And pay is going to be based off experience. Up to 70 cents a mile is the base. But depending on your level of experience, it could be, if you're brand new to the industry, which I'm assuming not, since Road Life Trucker is your name. But if you're brand new to the industry, a student, you'd be at 52 cents a mile. So that's like the range. And that's before bonuses, by the way. And guaranteed pay. Guaranteed pay is at least $1,000 a week. So Stephen Knotts, Force Dispatch. My answer is no, but I would like to be more specific on this because we're not. However, we have a guaranteed pay. So in order to qualify for the guaranteed pay of $1,000 a week or whatever it is in your area, then you do have to meet those requirements. And of those requirements, you can't turn down a load. Okay. That said, you still can get the rate of pay per mile. You'll still get rate of pay per mile, but we have the option, the availability of guaranteed pay. And at that point, you have to accept the load. But then here's more to that. If you say you live in the Midwest and the load is going out west and you told us that you don't run out west, or maybe you told us, I don't do the New England states, I don't do New York, that's okay. That's not considered a force, or that's not considered a turn down load when we knew that ahead of time, we told you ahead of time, don't worry, you won't be going to New York. Don't worry, you're not going to Maine. We don't run up there a whole lot, if at all. So that's not considered turning down a load, because that's part of the expectations when you are hired on. It's a conversation. It's noted. There's paperwork that shows that you don't want to run there. So in that case, no. But if you say, let me give you an instance. Say you live in Omaha, and there's a load that goes into Chicago, and you didn't want to go into Chicago, but that's where the load's going, and that could be the only load that we have out of the area, then, and you say, nope, I'm not taking it, then you wouldn't qualify for the guaranteed pay in that case. But you still get your rate of pay per mile. We just would have to find you another load. The downfall of turning down a load, well, there's multiple downfalls, but the big one is if you turn down a load, what if that's the only load we have in your area? What if you were in Kingman, Arizona, which someone mentioned, and that's the only load we have coming out for 3 days? Well, then you're going to be sitting there and you're not making any money. You don't meet the guaranteed pay because you turned down the load. And why would we can't really guarantee you pay if you're not going to run. Anyways, there's your answer, Stephen. Tyron pays $75 for what? Cents per mile or percentage? Well, as an owner operator or lease purchase, it is percentage. It's 72% of the load. If you are a company driver, it's cents per mile, and it's based off of your experience, so up to 70 cents a mile. You're a DOT hazmat rep for your area? Well, you've got all kinds of titles, don't you? You really do. Wearing lots of hats. Any high-risk cargo? Any border crossings? Not that I'm aware of. No border crossings, no border crossings, but high risk, not that I'm aware of. We have some hazmat loads. We don't have a lot of hazmat loads, but we do have some, and it's $85 for a hazmat load. We don't require a hazmat because we don't run a whole lot. But so like with refrigerated, we haul a lot of meat, a lot of beer. We have some pharmaceuticals. I don't know if those are considered high risk or not. We do have some pharmaceuticals sometimes. We have plants like flowers in flatbed, steel beams, sheetrock, coils, things like that. It's supposed to be 0, but they'll hire anybody these days. What's supposed to be 0? But that's why I retired and the ELD. When I was naming the where's that at? Oh, when I was naming the percentage, their threshold. Yeah, I don't get it. They slow down to view accidents, etc. That's impeding traffic. Too low. Rob Campbell. Reefer or flatbed out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Ooh, you know what? Green Bay's tough. You guys are way up there. I mean, not that you don't already know that, but let's see. Yeah, I don't currently have anything out of Green Bay. You're just a little bit too far north for us. Most of ours, Milwaukee, super full of freight. Milwaukee's an awesome area for us, but I don't really have a whole lot north of there. Yeah, I don't even want that. Availability policy is rough. The railroads, yeah. But like I said, I hear it all the time because we have several neighbors that way, and now my extended family is retired from there, but growing up, that's how it was. You just didn't see them. Missouri, reefer or flatbed? It depends on where you're at. Like St. Louis, Missouri is definitely flatbed for us. And we have a guaranteed pay out of there, Jim, it guarantees you at least $14.50 a week, or your rate of pay per mile, whichever one's going to be the better of the two. We don't have refrigerated out of, say, the St. Louis area. However, you're looking at like Kansas City, St. Joe, then yeah, we have refrigerated out of there. That one guarantees $12.50 a week. Again, rate of pay per mile can exceed that $12.50, of course, but depending on what side of the state you're looking at, I have refrigerated on one, flatbed on the other. Well, not that I don't have flatbed in the Kansas City area as well, but the flatbed pays more on the St. Louis side. The minimum pay, guaranteed pay, pays more on the St. Louis side. But we still have it, and it's still home weekly in both cases. Both refrigerated are home weekly. Both refrigerated and flatbed are home weekly, yeah. You're in Wichita, but my family's in Seattle. Okay, cool. Sorry, I skipped conversation, so now I'm back with you, Road Life. Yeah, Seattle is a good spot, so that will be fine. If you're going to run the Midwest for the most part, like if you're going to run mostly east of Denver or east of Colorado, and then, sometimes in the summer or whatever, decide that you want to run up to Seattle, if that's available, that's cool. They'll do their best to make that happen. I guess it just depends on what's, where you're coming out of. So Madison, Wisconsin, yeah. I've got refrigerated, I've got flatbed, I've got a guarantee of $12.50 a week in the refrigerated and home weekly, and I've got flatbed $14.50 a week and home weekly. Brandon says, Esme's daddy, that was Madison, right? Okay, cool. So refrigerated flatbed. Rate of pay per mile is going to be based off your experience level. Brandon says Colorado. Depending on where in Colorado you're at, if you're in the Denver area or north up to, say, Cheyenne, then I've got refrigerated that can get you home about every 2 weeks, right at the 2-week mark. I don't have flatbed out of there right now. We're pretty full in flatbed in the Colorado area. But yeah, Brendan, we do have refrigerated. It's about 2 to 3 weeks out if you want to go coast to coast. If you want to run out west, like west of Denver, then 2 to 3 weeks out. More miles, obviously. Longer length haul. Any dedicated runs? Well, it depends on where you live. Is it Ripple? No, our lip. It depends on where you live, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any available dedicated. I think we're all full in our dedicated positions. They're high value. I just don't know if they're high risk. We run, for those of you wondering, we do run a lot of Chicago. We don't do a lot in the New England states. We do run into the LA area. I'm trying to think of areas that people are like, I don't want to run here. But I get that about all randomness. They might have had an event that was in a certain area that I don't want to run again. What are the trucks governed at? They are governed at 68 on the cruise, but 65 on the pedal. 68 on the cruise, 65 on the pedal. Bagged salt. 5 years experience, Central Nebraska. Okay, give me a sec here. Central Nebraska. Can you happen to give me a zip code? Roy, truck drivers. Green Bay, Wisconsin's not a good spot for us. We don't currently have anything out of there. So Central Wisconsin. No, Central Nebraska. I'm sorry. That's what I get for talking and typing at the same time. Let's see. We've got, let's see, what about, so Central Nebraska, like Grand Island area, I've got refrigerated. If you're on 80, who was that I was talking to? Wavid Darden? Wavid Darden. 5 years experience. If you're in the Grand Island area or closer to Omaha, then yeah, I can get you home every 2 to 3 weeks. If you're along I-80, we can, towards Denver, I think it's about a 3-week out period. But if you're not off of 80, then I probably wouldn't be able to hire you in central Nebraska. It's not a, most of our freight is going to be around the Omaha area. But with 5 years of experience in the refrigerated division, I'm cheating, yes, 60 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem. Get a penny raise after 90 days, every year on your anniversary. Yeah. Jim Brill. Jim, are you asking about dedicated? Is that right? Let me scroll back up here. What about Missouri? Who was it that was asking about? Okay, that was RL. I know, I'm mumbling. In between Springfield and St. Louis. What's your zip code? Let's just be specific. Why don't you give me your zip code and then I can tell you for sure, Jim. Zach, Vegas, we have over the road refrigerated. It's 3 weeks out at a time, 3-4 days home. Actually, it's like 4 days home. But yeah, we have refrigerated, over the road refrigerated, and lots of Northwest and Midwest. I'll do that. Cool. Thanks, Scott. Coming out of the military. Yeah, it's different for sure. Michigan. If you're in the Detroit, so RL or RLIP, if you're in the Detroit area, yes, we've got refrigerated and we've got flatbed. I don't have dedicated though. I have home weekly, but I don't have dedicated. Medical reefers are high risk in rail transit. So I wonder if that then with us too, then I would imagine. Can you stay out longer? Like I only go home about once a month. Yeah, actually we have drivers that, I've got a couple of drivers, several drivers who do that actually. More so in the out west than anywhere, but you may stay out longer. And if you decide that you need additional off time. So like say, if you need like rest or I'm at the point right now that I'm just trying to spit out words. No, you may stay out longer. Absolutely. If you only go home once a month, no problem. You can rack up a little bit extra home time. Obviously, it's a day and a half for every 7 days out. What I was trying to say is if you are out on the road and decide I need a break, I've been out on the road for a while, I need a break, just communicate that with your driver manager and they can get you, if you're not wanting to get home, but just take a couple of days off, that's an option. Like for instance, Florida is actually a good spot for that, unfortunately, because if you go into Florida, it usually takes 2-3 days to get out of Florida, for all of you guys who know that. So if you got a load down there and you're like, hey, give me a couple of days off while I'm down there, that usually works out. So yeah, but that's you just need to communicate. By the way, we don't do a whole lot in Florida. We have some flatbed in there, but we don't do a lot of refrigerated. Okay. Are we hiring out of West Tennessee? Yes, Memphis we are. Memphis area. I know we've got flatbed that'll get you home. Can my flatbed get you home every other week or every week? I'm cheating. Yep. Flatbed every other weekend out of Memphis area. I knew what you meant. Okay, Wave and Darden. We are, if I'm not saying your name right, you need to correct me because there we go. Okay, so let's see. You are 68967. Thanks, by the way, for throwing that. Oxford. I got nothing in Oxford. Let's see. I don't think I have anything there. So to Omaha, let me see what I can make work. Can I? No. Nope. I'm sorry. Wavid, you are, it's going to be David, right? You're not in an area that I can make work. I'm sorry. Miss Alexa's on here by Kearney. Yeah, that's just too far out of our hiring area. 3 weeks period seems long. It is for some. Yeah, in some areas we can get you home more often. For over the road, it's fairly common. 2 to 3 weeks is pretty darn common. But that's doesn't work for everybody. That's why you ask that ahead of time, right? Make sure it works for you before you come aboard. Jim says he's in Waynesville, Missouri. See, now I got answers for you. It is over the road, so I've got the refrigerated, or no, erase that. I've got flatbed, is what I meant to say. I've got flatbed. You can either run up and down the Midwest in our flatbed division, or you can even run this far, like down into the south, east, as well as Midwest. No matter what, you're going to be running the Midwest. That's a lot of freight for us. But yeah, we can do both, Jim. You can, but it's home every other weekend for home time, and but it is not dedicated. Sticky Ricky, I like it. You are in Alamo, Tennessee. Flatbed, home every other weekend out of Alamo. Yep. And Curdy BB. Does that say Curdy? Yeah. You gotta get really close. Curdy, Perrysburg, Ohio. What do I have for you? I've got home weekly and refrigerated, and then I have home weekly and flatbed option. I've got over the road too. Wanting to get more experience with flatbed, So, Curdy, you live in a really good area for us for flatbed. We can guarantee you $1,450 a week, $1,450 a week. Your rate of pay per mile will actually be based off of your experience, but you have that guarantee of $1,450. You guys, I mentioned briefly what the guaranteed pay requirements were. Well, I mentioned one of them being you not turning down a load for the guaranteed pay, but there are 5 or 6 requirements altogether. So be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week, which in flatbed is Monday through Friday. So be available for dispatch 5 days out of the week. No load refusals. Get your paperwork in by Sunday night at 10 p.m. No CSA violations for the week. No preventable accidents for the week. And no driver service failures. I couldn't remember what the other one was. That's brain fart. To Montana? No way. Because there's like a gazillion people here that do it. You're welcome. You are not talking to me, I assume. Because I didn't have a first. Unless that's a joke. I don't know. Atlanta, Georgia, I've got refrigerated and I've got flatbed out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. What? Let me rephrase that. I have a first. It's still married to him. Too cold for me. What are you talking about? It wasn't negative 64 here the other day. That was wind chill though. I mean, come on. Atlanta. So I've got over the road refrigerated, which you can, again, you can choose to say east of Denver, or you can go coast to coast. You know, that runs a lot west. Or we have flatbed. Now my flatbed can get you home on a weekly basis in Atlanta, where refrigerated is 2 to 3 weeks out. So do I just continue my talks with Bryce? Heck yeah! He'll do you well. He'll take good care of you. Thanks for getting burnt out at a current job. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That is hard. Alexa says, we love Bryce. Do we? No. Yes, we do. He rocks. But we can still give him a bad time. Alexa says that because everybody loves Alexa. Yeah, how many times do I hear somebody say, my DM is the best? No trucking company will take care of you. It's all lies. That sucks. I disagree with that. I know that I'm going to do my best to take care of any of our drivers. Alexa rocks at it. Uh-oh. Who's calling me? Was that ringing in your guys' ears? I apologize for that. But I disagree with that. I mean, maybe not all trucking companies are going to be a good fit for everybody, but we're going to do our best to take care of you. I mean, okay. We both have to be accountable on both sides, right? I mean, you can't abuse the system. We can't abuse you. You know, I mean, you guys got to work together. We all work together, I think. But I can tell you that that we've got a great team that'll fight for the driver. You know, our it's not mission. What's the phrase? Our like mantra here is driver first, making sure that we put our drivers first, and that we need to take care of our customers and do a good job there. But if we don't have drivers, if we don't have good drivers, if we aren't taking care of them, it doesn't even matter. They are your lifeblood. Are they not? I mean, they're our lifeblood. They're any trucking company's lifeblood. It's just whether or not the trucking company is going to recognize it. And they sure better. So there, I get off my soapbox on that one. But that means a lot, I think. You know, that's why we started doing the Q&As, is because Alexa says our drivers come first here. And she knows, because she's very good at putting our drivers first. And that's why like anybody who's dealt with Alexa, no matter where she's been within the company, she's worn a couple hats, but she's taken fantastic care of them. They know that. That's why she gets the praises she does, and that's why people reach out to her, because they know that they have that peace of mind that they're going to be heard and they're going to be helped. So Alexa, don't run with that. Don't get too cocky with that. Pretend you didn't hear me say all those compliments. Just kidding. Okay, so 4106 says the railroaders that usually complain are usually our non-compliance. I think that goes in a lot of aspects of life. Okay, so if you're just watching social media and you're looking at the people who are just complaining, like, you know, verbal diarrhea all over social media, is that like not the case most of the time? A lot of those people are non-compliant. A lot of those people are not like holding themselves to any sort of like accountability. And we all have to. I mean, whether we want to or not, we all have to. And you have to take pride in what you do. Not that they don't, and not that there are still valid complaints in life. Do not get me wrong. But people who one after the other, gotta have some accountability. You know? In everyone. All right. I'm off of the soapbox, you guys. Come on. I told you I was getting off there. Bowling Green, Kentucky. What do I have about Bowling Green? Bowling Green, Kentucky. Okay, cross your fingers, because I'm thinking I don't have anything. Oh, I lied. I got flatbed. Over the road flatbed. Out. Well, home every other weekend. When it comes to flatbed, that's the good thing. Home on the weekends, because the shippers and receivers aren't shipping and receiving, for flatbed. Refrigerated, different story. All companies say that. I do agree with a lot of companies saying that. And a lot of companies are full of malarkey, but I think we do a good job. What do you deem a fair income a week for the current market? That is hard. We guarantee $1,000 a week for most of our positions. There are some positions that guarantee more, but that's more like, we're not looking at that as like a max. Keep that in mind. That is not a max. That is the guarantee. So that's our safety net, is what we refer to that as. So you can like manage your budget, do budget and stuff like that. But, I guess what I hear more often is if I can get $1,000 a week take home. That's what I probably hear from people more often than not. But, that's hard, because that's a lot of money, right? I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I feel that's a lot of money. However, with the economy, with the price of everything else in life, in comparison, I think that $1,000 is legit valid to say I need to be able to take home $1,000. I get that, because the price of fuel, the price of gas right now, well, granted, it's way down compared to what it was, but it's still pretty stinking high. But I mean, going to the grocery store and getting groceries, it's expensive. So you need to make sure you've got that peace of mind. You know, we kind of cut back on things and in order to readjust, right? Who knows? I'm going to say that. That's my take. What do you think? What do you feel? I'd like to know what you feel, honestly. What everybody else is thinking. So I know it's 1K for orientation. How long does it take to get your first dispatch? Ooh, good question. It depends. So say you're starting on a Monday. So it's $1,000 for orientation if you start on Monday. Okay. If you're starting on Wednesday, then orientation is $500. But if you're starting on orientation on Monday, you're probably getting your first dispatch on Thursday morning because it's a 3-day orientation. And I don't expect you to get your dispatch on Wednesday afternoon unless, okay, I can eat my words here too, unless there's like, you know, maybe you got to run to Gypsum or something real close. That's last minute, then that could be. But I would guess that your first dispatch will be on a Thursday if you're starting on Monday. Cool? Okay. Yeah, we want to get you rolling. Now, if you need to go get a truck, say the available truck that we have assigned for you is in Missoula, then we pay you to go get your truck, and your dispatch will be once you get into your truck. But we do like to seat you, like Clarissa, Katie, they'll walk through the truck with you and kind of go through the checklist and make sure, okay, so this is the APU unit. This is like some troubleshooting hacks if you have problems with APU units. You guys all know if you've had an APU, how it is. They're fantastic until they don't work. But we love having them. Huge win there. Same with running the TV. You know, some of the basics, where some of the extra fluids are in case you are running low on, you know, windshield wiper fluid or something like that. They'll walk through those things with you. If you're picking up the truck in, say, Missoula instead of Fort Dodge, where orientation is, then they'll walk through it with you in a different truck, and then you'll pick up your truck in Missoula and do your checklist there with probably Jason or maybe Liam. Bessemer is another example, you know, if you're picking up a flatbed there or something. Where was I answering that question, right? How long does it? Okay, I think I answered that. What is the base mileage pay? The very lowest mileage pay. So if you had 0 experience, you just got your Class A CDL, and you were just coming in as a student, your mileage pay in the refrigerated division would be 52 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem, 52 cents a mile. So if you are, it's still $1,000 guaranteed pay per week, okay? But the number of miles you need to exceed that $1,000, like if you want to make more than $1,000, is obviously going to be more for somebody who has less experience than if somebody had, you know, if you had 20 years of experience and making 70 cents a mile, you don't have to run as many miles to exceed that $1,000 guaranteed pay. So you're more likely to make more with the more experience. Is where I'm going with that one. Make sense? But base mileage pay is like lowest. If you have experience though, your base mileage pay could be, you know, like if you have 5 years of experience in refrigerated, your base mileage pay is 60 cents a mile. That type of thing. Massachusetts, how goes you? Neil, is that right? Neil? What do we have? Do we have anything out of Massachusetts? I have to remember my my codes. I don't think we do, for the most part. Yes, but you guys have a little bit different everything. So Carr says you won't work for a job for less than $2,500. Well, as an owner-operator or as a company driver? We are located out of Fort Dodge, Iowa, is our main terminal. Missoula, Montana, we have a terminal there. We have a terminal in Bessemer, Alabama. But orientation and everything is done in Fort Dodge, Iowa. And we hire all over, not in everywhere, but we hire in multiple areas. So if you have a specific area you're looking for, Just throw the zip code in the chat and I'll be able to give you more specifics if you would. 2 years of experience in the flatbed division, you're looking at 57 cents a mile. 57 cents a mile, 10 cents of that's per diem. In the flatbed, it's 61 cents a mile, 10 cents of that's per diem. What if my experience is old and I recently got my CDL back? Oh, when you give me these what ifs, it's killing me. So what if? It's hard to say because if you've obtained your Class A CDL, let me give you some what ifs back, okay? Because maybe that would be even more specific. Okay, if you have, say you have 10 years of experience and then you've been off the road for 3 years, okay? But you had 10 years of experience and you just obtained your Class A CDL back, then you would qualify. You might have to go through a refresher, like a training or an extended road test, but as long as you were working and you were employed, wasn't driving, but you were employed, then you would meet the qualifications because you have more experience than you've had time off, recent time off. Make sense? Okay. So then let's give you another what if. What if you had 1 year of experience, but you've been off for 3 years? Then we can't help you. You need to get a couple of months of experience before we can hire you because you don't have any recent driving experience and you didn't have enough previous experience for it to overpower, it's probably not the right word, but overpower the recent experience. Does that make sense? Okay. There you go. Do you have anything for Class B? I don't have anything for Class B. We're all Class A. Company driver, I make at least $1 a mile, no expenses. All right. That's really good. Where do you live? No expenses? A lot of taxes taken out? No expenses. Well, there you go. Okay. Paragon, Indiana. We have Home Weekly in the refrigerated division and Home Weekly in the flatbed division. Robert Lester. Yeah. Home Weekly. And the flatbed guarantees $14.50 a week. The refrigerated guarantees $1,000 a week. Cars, only a year of experience, huh? Yeah, I wouldn't leave that one. No, I would not. Crockett, Texas. Crockett, I've got over the road flatbed and I've got over the road refrigerated. So yep, I don't have dedicated out there. Tipton, Indiana. Tipton. Let's see, in the Tipton area, we have over the road, I have Home Weekly is what I'm trying to say. Home Weekly in the refrigerated division, Home Weekly in the flatbed division. Thank you so much. You have a great one too, 4106. Yes, but out of Tipton, Indiana, we have Home Weekly in the refrigerated, guarantees $1,000 a week. Home Weekly in the flatbed that guarantees $14.50 a week. $14.50 a week for a flatbed. Portland, Tennessee. Yeah, I gotta look that one up. 4748. I have refrigerated and I have flatbed. So refrigerated and flatbed out of Portland, Tennessee. And I gotta look to see where that's at because off the top of my head, not off the top of my head, like flat out, don't know where that's at. So the refrigerated, both of them guarantee at least $1,000 a week. Now remember, that's the safety net. Okay, so you're just north of Nashville. Okay, cool. Yes, we can get you home every week in flatbed, weekly flatbed home time, and every like 2 to 3 weeks in refrigerated. Robert, what I'm quoting you is gross. Everything is gross. So it's before taxes because I don't control taxes. Well, I don't control your rate of pay either, but that's gross because what you claim, what insurance, what investments you take, things like that, I don't have any, like, I don't know. I'm giving you what I know I can quote you. Yes. I have some reefer experience and 10 years flatbed. Awesome. So at least 10 years of flatbed. Then you're looking at, if you're looking at the flatbed division, you're at 68 cents a mile in flatbed, 66 in refrigerated. If 10 years total is what you have, if you have beyond that, then obviously we'll pad that more with more money. Brandon, you're welcome. You take care. What do you offer as benefits? Well, Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's an 80-20 plan. Starts after 60 days. We have medical, dental, vision, prescription. We have $0 copay on generics. There are some, well, you can't go to Walgreens or CVS for those. It's other pharmacies, but not for the generics, for the $0 generics. And then there are some brand names and some specialties that are $0, but mostly generics. And then we have, you've got like discounts with like Verizon and Dell and things like that. But for regular benefits, Blue Cross Blue Shield, 80-20, medical, dental, vision, we have a 50% match on the 401k. We have short-term, long-term disabilities available, cancer or lots of different insurances, life insurance that you can increase. We pay $10,000 on the employee, $5,000 on the spouse, for life insurance, and of course you can bump it up as well. More benefits. What else can I tell you benefit wise? I'm trying to think. We have a couple of new things with our benefits. The Fed Logic, I want to think is what it's called, and then we have the Regenix, which is like stem cell regenerating. That's available as well for insurance. This Decker Truckline is who I'm representing. Decker Truckline. Yeah, I've got Decker things all over, but not right behind me, huh? Yeah, Decker Truckline. This is a driving outfit, yes. Mostly refrigerated and flatbed. Currently refrigerated and flatbed availability. What's not very professional, not having it written down. The benefits, I can have it. I was just more in a conversation mode, but yeah, I can definitely provide that to you. In a professional manner, of course. Cents per mile and routes. Pop-a-fo, it depends on where you live. If you could give me your zip code, I can be more specific on what routes we have out of those areas and what divisions. And then, of course, cents per mile is going to be based off your experience. So when you put your social, could you also put your years of experience, and I'll be even more specific for you. Curdy, you're welcome. Good to hear. Mostly, no, they're automatics, but mostly 579 Peterbilts, Tucker, Henry. Mostly 579 Peterbilts. We have some 860 Volvos, some 780 Volvos, and some 760 Volvos, and a few Freightliner Cascade Evolutions, but mostly the 579 Peterbilts. And they come with like everything. But yes, they're automatics. They have APUs, refrigerators, bunk heaters, microwaves, television, CB units, navigation. The television comes with, it's a 22-inch TV, and it comes with Epic View Satellite TV, which is company paid for all of our company drivers. 100 plus channels, HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, Sunday Ticket. Yeah. Pretty much all autos, pretty much all automatics. With the manual, okay, so to get you the nitty gritty details here, the manual transmissions that we have, for those of our drivers who have been here, 15 years or more, we do allow them to spec the trucks a little bit. So, and a lot of times when they're specing their truck, they're wanting a manual. And if that's the case, we'll order that for them. And a lot of those are like the 389s. So they're the coolest looking trucks ever. In my opinion, I love those. But those are usually for our drivers who've been here like 15 plus years. Then they get to do the specs. Other than that, availability of manuals is harder and harder to get. But the automatic transmissions are definitely the majority of what we have. Pretty much, besides our veteran drivers, that's pretty much all we have. Papa Fo, let's see, you said 70053. Oops. Louisiana. Okay, so I've got flatbed out of there. I can get you home on a weekly basis. And let's see, 4 years. 63 cents a mile, Papa Fo. 63. And you get a penny raise after 90 days and then annually for that one. But I can get you home on a weekly basis, guaranteed at least $1,000 a week. Or you can stay out, you can get home every other weekend if you want to too. But the running areas are the Midwest and basically everything Denver East. A lot of the Midwest, a lot of Alabama, a lot of Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Dallas, Houston, down into San Antonio, Oklahoma areas. Arkansas is really busy. Parts of southern Missouri, St. Louis area, and like I said, the Midwest, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. Those are going to be real busy areas for you. But so that gives you an idea of the running lane. Jason says he's in 42240 Kentucky. We have over the road flatbed out of Kentucky there. Hopkinsville? Yeah, we can get you home every other weekend there. And you are looking at 70 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem. So that's our max pay right now. We do have a guarantee of, wait a minute. You gave me another zip code. 41240. Same thing. I can get you home every other weekend, 70 cents a mile. And you have the guaranteed pay of $1,000 a week. You have the $5,000 accelerated sign-on bonus available to you. You have the, which, by the way, you guys, I don't think I've mentioned how that works. The $5,000 accelerated sign-on bonus, it pays out quarterly. Each quarter you get $1,250, okay? And for qualifications for the sign-on bonus, you need to meet the guaranteed pay requirements at least 70% of the time. I don't know anybody who has yet to not get that. And we've been doing this for like 2 years, I think. But you've got the quarterly sign-on bonus, and it's accelerated. So all the miles over 20,000 as a flatbed driver, everything over 20,000 for the quarter, you're going to get an extra 5 cents a mile on. So you get that bonus in addition to the $1,250 each quarter. And that's in addition to our scorecard and safety bonus, which are both monthly bonuses as well. And your rate of pay per mile and all that good stuff. So the guaranteed pay sign-on bonus is paid quarterly on your anniversary, your quarter anniversary, whereas the scorecard is paid monthly every three, usually around the third pay period of the month following when you ran it. So December's will pay around the third week of January, around the 23rd, somewhere around there. Cool. Yes. Spudman, I want an 18 speed. That'll do the speed 70 to 75. Yep. That we don't have any 18 speeds. You're welcome. 68 on the cruise and 65 on the pedal. Paintsville, Kentucky. I'm driving for 25 years. There you go. 25 years. Yes, 70 cents a mile. Home every other weekend, right? Yeah, home every other weekend, Jason. Since when was Alabama located in the Midwest? Okay, I knew the moment I said that someone was going to say, that's not Midwest. Yes, you run a lot of Midwest and a lot of the Southeast is what I was getting at. I was trying to explain all of the areas that we have heavy freight. That would give you an idea of the running lanes. I don't consider Alabama in the Midwest either. I also don't consider Georgia in the Midwest. But yeah, up and down the Midwest and Alabama and Louisiana and Georgia, sometimes into the Carolinas, well, definitely into the Carolinas, and and Tennessee up into PA, but I don't consider those in Midwest either, but they are definitely within the hiring area, in the running area. I Papa Foe. I don't. He goes, I'm married, so I love staying out 4 to 6 weeks at a time. Oh my goodness, that's funny. That's awesome. I've been trucking since I was 16 and I am 38 now. How dare you make me do math, Joe? Just kidding. As long as, well, no, when you say trucking, are you meaning agriculture? Because when I see 16, I'm thinking, okay, agriculture. But if you've been over the road, tractor trailer over the road commercially, then, well, even agriculture, but obviously it has to be once you're 21 years of age for us to be able to qualify. Anyways, if you've got 20 years experience or over 15, we'd be starting at 70 cents a mile. 70 cents. Rocky Rivers says, I started my CDL class, woohoo, February 6th and graduate June 22nd. So you've got a little bit of time. Perfect. Keep in touch with our recruiters because we currently have training available. We are looking for additional trainers. Obviously, we've got some qualifications that we need to make sure that you meet in order to train the way we want to make sure everybody's trained. Safety first. And our trainers rock, by the way, in my opinion. This is my opinion. I think they rock. They're very thorough. They keep in good communications with their trainees, so supporting their trainees really well. Plus, we have an art program, an ambassador program, where you'll have not only your trainer and contact information, but you'll have in-house contacts. That's not necessarily your driver manager, usually not your driver manager. So you can reach out if you have any questions beyond the normal, like operations questions. That's what we have for. Let's see. You guys can't call me out on that. It's terrible. I didn't mean Alabama was in the Midwest. What do we have? Springville, Alabama. That's because all of our divisions run into the Midwest, whether they're only Midwest. Okay, so now I'm just trying to reason out my verbal error, right? But it seems like it. Okay, what do we have? Refrigerated, we've got flatbed. Refrigerated's over the road. Flatbed, I can go weekly home time. They're in Springville, Alabama. Weekly home time. Weekly home time, you'd be running a lot of the Southeast, but it's not only the Southeast. It's Midwest as well. Okay, I got all serious on that one. Flatbed, oop, oop, oop. What did I see? Hambone 30. You're asking about flatbed in 38671. Flatbed over the road. Yes, I've got over the road flatbed, which would get you home every other weekend into South Haven, Mississippi. What about Guarantee? Or what about GB? Oh, Green Bay. Green Bay, Wisconsin with 10 years. We the People Wolfman, we don't currently hire out of Green Bay. Unfortunately, you're the third person today that's asked that on the live. And that's a bummer because that's 3 people asking the same area. The TikTok algorithm must be hitting the Green Bay area. No, I don't currently have anything out of Green Bay. Milwaukee is fantastic, but we don't do a whole lot north of the Milwaukee area for refrigerated or flatbed for that matter. What kind of trucks do you run? Big fella, I love that name. We have mostly 579 Peterbilts. We have some 860, 760, and 780 Volvos, and a few Freightliner Cascadias. Automatics mostly, fully equipped with like all kinds of stuff. Microwave, refrigerator, TV, APU, all that kind of stuff. Double bunk. They are, I think I said automatics. They are, what else can I tell you? Oh, year. Usually, the oldest truck is usually around 400,000 miles. That's when we're usually swapping it out, getting it out of here. So average age of about 18 months. Mm-hmm. Um, I will have to get more used. Let's see. What trucks are you in Kansas? We run into Kansas. We have availability in Kansas, especially around Kansas City. But we are based out of Fort Dodge, Iowa. Fort Dodge, Iowa. We are Decker Truck Line for all of you guys who are wondering. I've got everything everywhere, but Decker. Decker. I'm going to sit right here. Decker Truck Line. There you go. Yeah, we have a couple of divisions that are making that as well. It just depends on where they're at. Nope. Fort Dodge, Iowa is our main terminal. We have a terminal here in Montana, in Missoula, Montana. We have a terminal in Bessemer, Alabama. And we've got shops Des Moines, Iowa, Hammond, Indiana, Sperry. Yep. Thank you. If you own your own truck. Oh, yes. If you own your own truck, yeah. Let's see. 1K a week to be out for 2 weeks. I make that home daily. All right. Let us know. That input is very helpful for us, by the way. Letting us know. But yep, guaranteed pay. And of course, it depends on where you live. That's the guarantee. That doesn't mean that's the only thing that you'll be making, but that's the guarantee. What did I do that? 3860 flatbed hambone. Yes. That is flatbed home every other weekend. Ron is, let's see, Ron, you were at 72908. Fort Smith, heck yeah, we've got refrigerated and flatbed out of there. That'll get you home every 2 to 3 weeks in refrigerated, home every other weekend in flatbed. As of right now, sometimes we have other opportunities in flatbed too in your area. We do run team in our refrigerated division. You're out 2 to 3 weeks at a time. For the most part, the current positions for our team are not dedicated, but we do have some team in the refrigerated. Depends on where you live on what would be available. Every once in a while, we do get some dedicated positions in our team for teams too. We're pretty full on dedicated ones though. Experience-wise, Matt Schulte. It depends on if you are looking for refrigerated or flatbed, but refrigerated, if you have a valid Class A CDL, if you're a recent graduate and just got your valid Class A CDL, we can train you. In flatbed, if you live in the Midwest, we can train you. Same requirement. But if you're looking for over the road, say you live in like Alabama or Georgia or Louisiana and you're looking to run over the road flatbed, then we would require that you have at least 6 months of flatbed experience or a year of tractor trailer for that division. Wheel Life Adventures. I used to run the 48 for 10 years. Fantastic. So what do you do now? I had a weird voice crack there. Can you take family with you in the truck? Not the whole family. Well, I guess it depends on how many. You can have a rider, yes. Rider policy is 10 years and older, so 10 to 69 years of age. It's $25 a month for the rider, and yeah, you just have to get approval for it is all. But yes, you can't have more than one rider, but yes, you can have a rider. Oh, Jason, if you own your own truck, what do we pay? We pay 72% of the load, plus the fuel surcharge. Yes. Yep. 72% of the load. I'm sorry, I thought you were agreeing to I thought you were referring to the other guy's comment when you asked that earlier. I didn't realize it was a question. Definitely not. I don't have my CDL. Of one of the reasons. We're based out of Fort Dodge, Iowa, is our main terminal. And Missoula, Montana, we have a terminal there, and we have a terminal in Bessemer, Alabama. Thanks. I must be used to it. Joe 575. South Dakota. Burke, I don't have anything out of there. Let me double check. Make sure that I didn't just put the information in wrong. Where should I run you off of? So, is it Burke? How close are you to? Yeah, nothing out of there. Got nothing for you there, Joe. Not a good spot. What's our average driver bring home weekly? Ooh, I need to get those numbers for you, to be honest with you. I don't have those handy. Last time I checked was more peak pandemic, and those numbers were really high compared to what I would expect them to be right now. I don't know. I feel like I would be giving you. Let me give you pre-pandemic and then more current numbers, okay? Because let me run the numbers right here for you so that I've got it. Because peak pandemic numbers is what I have on record, and that one is going to be really high. Pre-pandemic numbers. You asked what? Take home? Bring home? There's a lot of variables in that, but I can tell you that gross revenue was about 16,000 or 1,600, excuse me. So about 85,000 a year. So that's gross, which weekly I would say would be about 1,100, 1,200 or so. But it just depends on what you claim. It depends on what insurance you take. We have a 50% match on the 401k, and if you're matching max, that's going to make a difference. So bring home is a really hard number for me to quote and accurately, but yeah. Can you take your family with you on the road? My little girl is a year and a half old. The age limit is 10, so it must be at least 10 years of age. And we can only have one rider, not the whole family. I'm sorry, Rocky. Zach, what up, man? No, I'm good. Team, yes, team is in our refrigerated division, and it's a base of 60 cents a mile, and then that's just like the weekly pay, because then we have the mileage bonus, which it goes up in like 12 to 14,000 miles a month, 14 to 16,000 miles a month, 16 to 18,000 miles a month. Everything over 18,000 miles a month is an extra 8 cents a mile. Yeah, I totally sped through that, but that's because our teams are running 21, 24, 25,000 miles. Holy nuts. That scared the crap out of me, dude. It was my picture. Anyways, the teams paid weekly, and then we have the guaranteed, the mileage bonus on top of that, and that pays usually the third month of the month following when you ran it. So there you go. But yeah, we do have teams in our refrigerated division. If we have refrigerated in the area, then we have a team opportunity for you. But it currently is not dedicated. I do want to make sure that you're aware. We have dedicated at times, but not currently. For the teams. Well, for anything right now. Wheel Life, 22 years of experience. So you'd start at 70 cents a mile is the base. 70 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem. They are a good team. Yeah, Matt does a phenomenal job on that. He usually dispatches our teams. He rocks it and rolls it. He does a lot of the CS on that side too. Customer service. Can you run more south than Midwest if you live in Tennessee? Sometimes yes. I mean, because there's definitely southern loads, but there's a lot of runs into the Midwest. So it's not like, I know you're going to run up into the Midwest at least once a week. So, yeah, you can definitely run more south, but I know you'll run at least once a week into the Midwest. Yeah, go ahead, Jason. You should be. You're texting him here. What about 10 years? We the People Wolfman with Green Bay, we don't currently have anything available out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Do we hire out of Missouri? Yes. We definitely hire out of areas of Missouri. If you're looking for flatbed, like the St. Louis area is fantastic for flatbed. If you're like Kansas City area, refrigerated, we have both refrigerated and flatbed out of the Kansas City area, St. Joe. But refrigerated is going to be the better of the two in that side of the state. Hello, D Rose. Yeah, go ahead, Jason. You keep saying that. Ask the question. Go ahead. Don't worry about it. That's okay because I do flatbed at 75 cents. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, no international. Nope. Yeah. Yes. They are forbidden on the truck. Gotta have a rider policy, you know? Yeah, no. We got some nice trucks. You don't want that. Manual's the only way to go, big fella says. We have, like I said, our manuals are, the few manuals that we have are more spec trucks for some of our veteran drivers. Are they governed? Yes. 68 on the cruise, 65 on the pedal. Dumpty, you rock. That's funny. Do you have an affiliate program? An affiliate program? We have a referral program. So if you are a driver here at Decker, and you refer somebody to Decker who is hired on, of course they've got to meet all of our qualifications and hire on, then absolutely we have a referral program. It's $1,500 per driver referred who's hired on, and it pays out within the first 90 days. And actually, if you guys watch our Facebook page, this is exciting. This stuff I love because I love it when someone gets an award or wins a prize or whatever. Those are super fun. So anyways, Sonny Henry, he started with us back in April, May, somewhere like spring back then. So he started then. He referred 5 drivers within the third quarter, which is when he started. And he is being recognized for the grand champion for 2022, for the year of 2022, referral bonus. So he gets, in addition to the $1,500 that he got for his first driver and his second driver and his third driver, and then he got $2,000 for his fourth and fifth driver, he now gets $2,500 in cash for being the grand champion in the referral bonus. So we kind of had neck and neck for a couple of people. We had 68 drivers who were part of the referral program who not only referred but had earned the referral bonus, meaning that the person they referred was hired on or qualified, and started and is working for us and doing great as well. And actually Sonny's referrals have referred a lot of people as well, which is, you kind of got a heck of a network there. Anyways, to answer your question, James, when it comes to the affiliate program, we don't have an affiliate, but we have a referral, which I guess is very, very similar, right? But you do have to be a driver here at Decker to qualify. Yeah. Missouri here, you hire teams. We do hire teams out of Missouri, especially the Kansas City area. Not St. Louis area because we don't have refrigerated out of there. But the Kansas City area, St. Joe, absolutely. Absolutely. Justin Bannister. Let's see. Whoop, let me scroll. Let's see. 43920. East Liverpool, Ohio. Yeah, we have over-the-road refrigerated and we have over-the-road flatbed out of your area, which is a home every other weekend in flatbed and home every 2 to 3 weeks in refrigerated. Nebraska bow hunter. Awesome. What kind of things do you hunt? I like deer. Deer? I'm from Montana, so we hunt. I don't do a lot of bow hunting, though. My brother is big on bow hunting. He got a beautiful elk this year, And this is totally sidetracked, by the way. And he sells bows. They're fantastic. Okay, what am I doing? 68. So you're out of Arlington, Nebraska. Heck yes, I've got refrigerated. I've got flatbed. I've got short haul. No, my short haul's full right now for flatbed. But I do have home weekly in both the refrigerated and the flatbed options for you right now. Refrigerated and flatbed. Yep. $12.50 a week in refrigerated and $1,000 a week in flatbed home weekly. Can an experienced driver get a local position near Birmingham, Alabama? Yes. I don't think I have my local is full right now, but so what we normally do is we usually go in-house first. So if we know somebody who is running for us who wants a local position, if that local position came available, then we would ask them first before submitting, like before advertising it. So Elwood, if you are interested in a local position in the Birmingham area, will you please call our recruiting department? I'm going to give you guys the number for it. 888-668-0698. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time. 888-668-0698. I don't believe it is open right now because I haven't heard of anything. But like I said, if they're checking with somebody, if it is available and they're checking in-house first, they won't tell the recruiting department until they've checked with the in-house. But if you're interested, please reach out to the recruiting department. They'll reach out to operations to confirm, but they'll need your contact information to tell you. Pay per team Hans performance? Yeah, is a base of 60 cents a mile, and then it goes up. So base of 60 cents a mile, the bonus is an additional 8 cents a mile on all miles. And that's split, by the way. The 60 cents a mile is split because you're paid on all miles, whether you run it or your team member runs it. The additional 8 cents a mile is split as well. And then you have the mileage. So that's the mileage bonus. And then you have the safety and scorecard monthly bonuses available to you if you earn those, and the quarterly assignment bonus as well. So yes, pay per team a minimum of 60 cents a mile. So it's usually the bonus is an additional, it averages out to be an additional $1,000 a piece, $2,000 to the truck per month. That's on top of the cents per mile. Do you use brokers or broker your own loads? Ooh, good question. So we have our own brokers, like we have our own logistics company and everything. Okay, there's two questions. Decker has contracts with the majority of our customers, like 99% of our loads are customer contracted loads in the refrigerated division. It's a little bit less in the flatbed division, but it's still in the high 90s. Now, our logistics company, oh, this is my shop. Never mind. I thought I had my logistics shirt on. Our logistics company, we also have a logistics company who we also get loads from if need be. But mostly we are customer contracted. Other than that, we would be the private brokers with our logistics company. Yep. What's an average yearly income, weekly home time? Nick, it depends on where you live. Did I answer for you? Let me double check. If I answered where you live, I apologize, but I don't see that you put on here where you live yet. If you did, then I will get to it here in a second. But the average yearly income, we guarantee a minimum of $1,000 a week across the board. Some areas do average more. And home time is, again, home weekly in some areas, especially in the Midwest, and home every 2 to 3 weeks in the in other areas, or home every other week in the flatbed. So it depends on where you live. Dedicated in Texas, not currently. Greek chick, huh? Yeah, not dedicated right now in Texas, but I do have refrigerated and flatbed out of the Dallas area. That's OTR, that'll get you home every 2 to 3 weeks. And I have over-the-road flatbed that's home every other weekend in both Dallas and Houston as well. 15 months experience driving. I don't have drive-in out of Arizona. I do have refrigerated out of the Phoenix area. And with 15 months experience, that puts you at 56 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem. Do you have a Southeast regional available? Not currently. Not currently. We do hire out of the Southeast, and we do run a lot of the Southeast, but it's not regional because it still runs the Midwest. I can get you home weekly if you live in Alabama or Georgia, but you're still running into the Midwest. I guess. I am your newest subscriber. Awesome. Veggie Powered. Very cool. Forgiven, Zach. Positions for Minnesota. If you're looking in the Minneapolis area, then we have refrigerated and we have flatbed. We have home weekly and refrigerated, and we have home weekly and flatbed. So we have both. A guarantee of $1,000 a week. Depends on where in Minneapolis or where in Minnesota you are, but I think for the most part in Minnesota it's $1,000 a week. $1,250 in the refrigerated division. Training, we do offer training. As long as you are a recent graduate of a PTDI. No, if you're a recent graduate and obtained your Class A CDL. I get so used to saying PTDI certified because that used to be the requirement. Do you still have Southeast Regional for flats? We have home weekly, Ron. We have home weekly for flatbed in the Southeast, but it's not only the Southeast. So you're still running up into the Midwest. Any dedicated in Bessemer? Not currently, Elwood. The real Bobby, does your company work with private brokers? The logistics company might, but Decker Truckline, not that I'm aware of. Must work with some, but mostly contracted. Like I said, 99%. Anything in Texas, over the road, refrigerated, and flatbed. I see that I am like way behind on comments, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm chatty. Hey, Zach. 40 to 60K depending on your work ethic. Ape Superior says. 76227. Aubrey, Texas. Okay, I'm gonna try and speed through. I see I have 45 messages, so I'm gonna try and get through all of these for you guys before my phone dies. But out of Aubrey, Texas, I have over the road refrigerated and over the road flatbed. Home every other weekend in flatbed and refrigerated. You said Alabama? Yeah, we do run. We have a terminal in Bessemer, a flatbed terminal in Bessemer, Alabama, but we are based out of Fort Dodge, Iowa, and then we have a terminal in Missoula, Montana. Zach's just sitting in Wyoming. You've been sitting in Wyoming all day. Windy, huh? Arizona, 15 months experience. Yes. Okay, I did answer that one. It took me forever, but yeah, you're at 56 cents a mile. How many miles a week? It depends, Shovel, on which division you're looking at, and what home time. If you're getting home on a weekly basis and you're in refrigerated, you're probably looking at like 2,300 miles a week, 2,400 miles a week. And the OTR, 25, 28, depending on the individual. Any positions in Minnesota? 11 years of experience. Yeah, I have refrigerated and I have flatbed. If you're in northern Minnesota, I don't have anything up there. But if you're in Minneapolis or south, then I've got refrigerated and flatbed. 11 years of experience would put you at 64 cents a mile in reefer and 68 cents a mile in flatbed. Can you tell that? I've got my numbers over here. I'm in Iowa. How many miles a week? I also have, in parts of Iowa, I also have short haul, which would get you less miles a week. It's still a guarantee of $1,000 a week, though, in the flatbed division if you live in Fort Dodge. But miles 23 to 28, depending on what you're looking at for home time and which division, whether it's refrigerator or flatbed. Actually, my flatbed's probably closer to 2,200 than it is higher if you're looking for home weekly. Texas, your benefits and costs plus vacation time for benefits. Super Trucker. Benefits are Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's an 80-20 plan. It depends on whether or not you're going to have a whole family or just yourself or you and a spouse or you and kids. The breakup is quite a bit different, but for yourself, it's roughly, let me get the numbers out because they just updated this year. So let me get those numbers to get you the benefit. Vacation time is 1 week after 6 months. And then you have, 1 week after 6 months, 2 weeks, then 1 week after 1 year, 2 weeks after 3 years, and 3 after 7 years. And I'm looking for the benefits package to give you all of the details on that, to give you the cost and everything. Salt Lake City, I do have over-the-road refrigerated out of Salt Lake, which would get you home about every 2 to 3 weeks. And that's a good spot for us, really good spot for us for our over-the-road division. And yeah, pay is just going to be based off experience and guarantee of at least $1,000 a week, at least. I'm looking for the pay. Okay, so for the benefits, let's say it's just you, and I'm giving you non-tobacco, okay? So if you're a tobacco user, add an additional, like, don't make me do math, but an additional $12 onto it per week, okay? Somewhere around there. So just yourself, just the employee would be about $55 a week. So there's plans that do offer a lower deductible, a higher premium, and that would be like $72 a week. For you and a spouse, $124. For you and your children, $113, and for a whole family, $135. So numbers I would want to know would be either $55 for myself or $135 for the family. Zanesville, Ohio. Zanesville. So let's see, 43701. We have over-the-road flatbed. Home every other weekend out of there. You bet. Do you allow pets? We do allow a dog. We allow one dog, 85 pounds or less, non-aggressive breed. It's a $500 deposit, $250 is refundable. We allow 2 dogs, non-aggressive breeds, no more than 40 pounds combined. No more than 40 pounds combined. How many years of experience? Well, we can train if you are new to the industry and looking in the refrigerated division. Otherwise, otherwise your rate of pay will reflect your years of experience. So if you have less than a year of experience, you're looking at what 55 cents a mile in the refrigerated division. Any oversized? Nope, we don't do oversized. Very, very rarely, if we do, at least. Most of it, like for flatbed, it's steel beams, coils, sheetrocks, building supplies mostly. Every once in a while, we'll have like car wash equipment. Been through the SAP. Jalen, we have hired drivers who've been through the SAP as long as it's at least a year old since the event, and they've gone through all of the due diligence and show that it's not something that would continue. But any failed or refused drug tests, things like that, DUIs, DWIs, anything like that has to be at least 3 years old. Mr. Mendoza, how are you? Decker Truckline was by far the best OTR company I've ever worked for, he says. Mr. Mendoza is one of the most talented photographers. I would say, because I loved your what are they called? Drone. All your drone footage. Loved to see that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Logan White. You are at Over the Road Flatbed. Logan, you live in Sikeston, Missouri. We got Over the Road Flatbed out of there. Yep. What money out of South Carolina? Anywhere from 53 for someone who's brand new to the industry. No, I'm going to lie to that. I'm sorry, because we don't train out of there for flatbed. So 60 cents a mile for flatbed, and up to 70 cents a mile for flatbed for guaranteed pay. Guarantee of at least $1,000 a week. Solomon Porter, hey, good to see you. Greek Chic, I did say we have over-the-road refrigerated and flatbed out of Texas. I'm sure I'm just catching up on your comments. I'm sure you waited forever to hear me, and I apologize. 1984 Jerry, work local and home every night, every other weekend, 13-week. This is a RIP. Any positions in Minnesota? Yes, we have refrigerated and flatbed in Minnesota. Any in Wildwood, Florida? Wildwood? I don't think so. Wildwood, Florida. I lied. We have home weekly flatbed out of there. So you must be close to Jacksonville. So yes, we have home weekly flatbed and over the road flatbed out of there. Any local in California? Not currently hiring in California. We are full there. Nikki, someone says okay. Nikki, or Nick Dansbury. Sorry, I was changing your name on you and you didn't even know it. Out of Barnesville, Minnesota. Yes, I have home weekly in flatbed out of there. I have over the road as well. But I have home weekly. That'll guarantee you at least $1,000 a week, Nick. Anything out of North Carolina. Flatbed. If you live along 95 there, definitely flatbed. If you live towards the east or the coast, I don't have anything available. Solomon Porter. Salomon, right? Justin, Arizona, over the road, refrigerated. You betcha. We live north of Dallas in Texas. Greek Chick, we do have refrigerated and flatbed. If you're looking for team, then absolutely, we've got that too there. Anything out of Maryland? Ooh, I have Laurel, Maryland. We have we have ice cream in Laurel. Maryland. What else do we have? But are we hiring in? Yeah. And then I've got flatbed. I've got over the road flatbed out of there too. Yep. Dallas and Houston areas. But those are not dedicated. Those, like, it's not back and forth. It's just those are areas that we hire within Texas that we, yep. USA Truckin', 68 on the cruise and 65 on the pedal is what our trucks are governed at. Any older Pete 379s? We don't have any older trucks. Yeah, our trucks are newer, but we do have some of those 379s. 389s. Ah, I keep forgetting that they've changed. What about 490884? Refrigerated, only no flatbed, 26 years experience. Refrigerated, I have over the road. Refrigerated out of Super Trucker, Scotts, Michigan. Yeah, Scotts, Michigan. I have refrigerated. You'd start at 70 cents a mile. That's my highest pay right now is 70 cents a mile. You still will get bonuses on top of that. The scorecard and safety bonuses are available, and then as well as the sign-on bonus, the quarterly sign-on bonus, accelerated sign-on bonus. Yes. Dustel, thank you. Do you ever drive barefoot? You better not. It's not legal. Do you ever drive? No. 2,200 miles. What cents per mile? Depends on your experience. Anywhere from an inexperienced driver, someone brand new to the industry at 52 cents a mile, to 70 cents a mile. So. $15.40 a week is what it would be at 70 cents a mile. Wichita, Kansas. I think I went over Wichita. I think it's refrigerated. OTR refrigerated. Yeah, OTR refrigerated. 2 weeks out, 2 to 3 weeks. Delaware, I am not aware of anything out of Delaware. We don't have anything in Delaware that I'm aware of. Do you get paid more if you have a hazmat and tanker? 195 Wayne, you do get paid if we have an extra hazmat load, but we don't run a lot of hazmat and we don't do tankers. So if you're looking for hazmat and tanker, we're not a good fit. We couldn't get you what you want there. Northeast Ohio. Ooh, Northeast. We have flatbed, which would get you home about every other weekend there. You like how I'm drawing my map in my head? Okay. Anything in New Jersey. We do run into New Jersey every now and then, but it would be over the road flatbed. We don't do a whole lot there. I'm going to tell you that right now. North Carolina, yes, we do have flatbed in North Carolina. Home weekly in some of the areas. From North by God, Carolina. Carolina trucker. What's your DUI policy? At least 3 years old, unless it was in a commercial vehicle, and then at least 5 years old. I do 27 years experience. 70 cents a mile at 27 years experience. That's our top pay. Yeah, Delaware. You want to give me a zip code because then I can confirm, but I don't think I've got anything in Delaware. Got any lanes? 40, 85, 95, starting out High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem. I have 26 years experience. Yeah, so we've got flatbed, 70 cents a mile. It would get you home weekly. It would be a lot of Southeast and Midwest, still Midwest runs. Do you have any local or just OTR? The only, I have, depends on where you live. If you live in Fort Dodge, Iowa, then I've got a local position right now. But other than that, all the local positions are full. And we are mostly OTR or regional, but we don't do a ton of local. Minnesota, refrigerated and flatbed out of Minnesota. $15.40 a week. Yeah, if you had, somebody had said something about 2,200 miles a week and an average of 70, and if you were making 70 cents a mile, it'd be $14.50 a week. Texas, refrigerated and flatbed. I grew up on Fort Dodge. Did you? Very cool, cool. Raleigh, North Carolina. I don't think I have anything in Raleigh. Let me investigate. 276. Nope, I got flatbed. I've got home weekly flatbed in Raleigh. Minnesota, refrigerated and flatbed, unless it's north of Minneapolis, and I don't have a whole lot north of Minneapolis. $500 per day minimum. If you fight... No. Let's see. Manchester, Iowa. Oh, I didn't even recognize that. Manchester, Iowa. Heck yeah, we've got refrigerated and we've got flatbed. Flatbed guarantees you $14.50 a week and refrigerated a guarantee of $12.50 a week. Do you hire out of Southern California? Not currently. Nope, it's full there. Wisconsin, Milwaukee is phenomenal for us. Really good area, especially for flatbed. If you're looking for something up north, like Green Bay, I don't have anything there. Missouri is great. St. Louis, Missouri is fantastic for flatbed, and refrigerated is great in the St. Joe area, Kansas City. 1 year experience, what pays and how many miles? Well, Big Justin, pay is going to be 56 cents a mile in the refrigerated division and 60 cents a mile in the flatbed. Average miles in the refrigerated and home, like every 2 weeks, you're looking at about 2,400 to 2,600, I'd say, just starting out with a year experience, and about 23 to 25 in the flatbed for miles out of Texas. So out of there, yeah, you'd be over the road, so you'd be home every 2 to 3 weeks. My brother fell into the upholstery machine. Tarpons. Your trucks are owner operator. We have owner operator options. It's 72% of the load is what we pay you. We also have lease purchase, but you have to run as a company driver for at least 90 days first. And then otherwise it'd be company driver. Like most of what I'm talking is company driver. $14.50 a week plus bonuses. Yeah, in our flatbed division that run like anywhere from St. Louis, Missouri over to Columbus, Ohio, up to Toledo, over to Milwaukee, past Chicago, up to Milwaukee, back down to Mason City, Iowa, down to Iowa City, over to St. Louis, Missouri. Anywhere in that vicinity, that one's going to guarantee you $14.50 a week, no matter what your experience is. Now, your rate of pay per mile will be based off your experience, but you're guaranteed the $14.50 a week. And then the bonuses you can earn on top of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're looking at flatbed, there's definitely tarping and securing involved. Yep, for the majority. Ohio, mostly flatbed in Ohio, but we have some refrigerated as well. Minnesota, mostly, Minnesota, we have refrigerated and flatbed. Depends on where you're at, but not a whole lot north of Minneapolis. Yes, $14.50 a week plus bonuses. You are correct. Robbie says I've got 14 years experience, clean MVR, dry van. So you'll be at 69 cents a mile in the flatbed division, Robbie, and 10 cents of that's per diem. That's in the flatbed. We have the same pay 68 cents a mile in refrigerated, 69 in flatbed. But I don't have any van positions available. Sign-on bonus, William, sign-on bonus is, I'm caught up on the comments, woohoo! So the sign-on bonus is $5,000. It's an accelerated sign-on bonus. So the more, if you run over 20,000 miles in the flatbed division for the quarter, you'll get an extra 5 cents a mile on all the miles over 20,000. If you're in refrigerated, everything over 25,000 miles for the refrigerated division for the quarter, you'll get an extra 5 cents a mile. So the sign-on bonus, I promised I would get back to the qualifications for that. So let's talk about it. The guaranteed pay and the sign-on bonus qualifications are be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week, no load refusals, no CSA violations, no preventable accidents. This is week by week, by the way, you guys. And no late loads. Oh, and get your paperwork in on time. That's the 6 criteria. The paperwork has to be in by 10 p.m. on Sunday night. Now, with that, you need to be compliant for the week in order to get the guaranteed pay, right? I know they're pretty basic requirements, but obviously you have to have some. And as long as you are at least 70% compliant with those 6 criteria for the quarter, then you're getting the $1,250. You're getting $1,250 or $1,250 for the sign-on bonus for the quarter, and the additional 5 cents a mile for the miles over 20,000 for flatbed and 25,000 for refrigerated for the quarter. Cool? Okay. By the way, our recruiting department, because I am going to have to hop off here pretty soon because my phone is going to die, is 888-668-0698. Any chance of driving anything other than an automatic Volvo? Mike, there's a chance. It's not a good chance because the majority of our trucks are most definitely automatic. The chances if one of our drivers, like for instance, we did just have a driver that retired, and if you got into his truck, which is a manual, then you have that opportunity. But other than that, they're mostly automatics. He retired. He's got 15 plus years. So yep. Yeah. We do our best to get good rates for you. The recruitment team looks great. Go to meet dispatch, and it's Molly Hatchett. She's awesome. Do you guys have the Bendix system? We do have the Bendix system. Mm-hmm. Thank you. You betcha. That's a retention bonus, not a sign-on bonus. What a joke. Okay, so the sign-on bonus is based on it's paid out within the quarter, or paid out quarterly, paid out within the first year. We don't currently have a retention bonus, but I don't know any sign-on bonuses that will pay you the moment you walk in the door. We do have guaranteed pay for the orientation. Robbie, we do have both inward and outward facing event recorders. Yep. But they're not live feed. We don't do live feed. They're like critical event is when they kick on, and it's an AI. Zanesville, Ohio. Zanesville, I think I looked that one up. That one is flatbed. Yeah, flatbed over the road, home every other weekend for Harley. Decker Truckline. Oop. It's like rock myself. Decker Truckline. What about hauling nuclear fuel? Nope. So stay a year to get your hiring bonus. That's a retention deal. It is more retention than okay, but it is our sign-on bonus. We call it our sign-on bonus. You don't have to stay the full year to get part of it. Oklahoma City, we have flatbed and refrigerated out of Oklahoma City. Get you home every other weekend for flatbed and home every 2 to 3 weeks for refrigerated. Lexington, Kentucky. Let me double check. I want to say that we've got flatbed available there right now. I think, yeah, we still do. We still have some flatbed available there. Home every other weekend. Houston, Texas, home every other weekend in flatbed, home every 2 to 3 weeks in refrigerated. Anything near Louisiana, North Louisiana, not dedicated or local, but I do have over the road, yes. In flatbed right now. Right now it's flatbed. Mm-hmm. Grand Rapids, Michigan, I do not. Oh, wait. I don't think I do. Give me a second on Grand Rapids. I have flatbed out of Grand Rapids, which would get you home every other weekend. So Sabet, Grand Rapids, every other weekend. Oh, I'm home every other, right? Most weekends. Awesome. Okay. In cab-facing cameras are illegal. In cab-facing cameras, this sounds like a big joke. All right. They are not live feed, and Well, I'll just leave you at that one. Why not? That's what I do now. Do you have positions in Mississippi? Yes, flatbed. We have home every other weekend in our flatbed division. Houston, I have over-the-road refrigerated and over-the-road flatbed. South Mississippi, yes, flatbed. You betcha. We don't have an hourly rate. Ours is the mileage, but we do have a guaranteed of $1,000 a week, depending on the division. Some of them might be higher. And the sign-on bonus is a $5,000 sign-on bonus, accelerated sign-on bonus. So you get paid the extra cents per mile for your mileage. Dallas, we have refrigerated and flatbed. Home every other weekend in flatbed and home every 2 to 3 weeks in refrigerated. I can't believe my phone is still alive here. Richmond, Indiana. I have flatbed out of Richmond. Let me see how far south you are. 74. Yeah, I have flatbed and refrigerated. The flatbed is $1,450 a week, and the refrigerated is $1,000 a week guaranteed. Mississippi, flatbed. We have flatbed out of Mississippi. Anything in in LA? In California, no, we don't currently have anything available in California. Dayton, Ohio, we have flatbed and refrigerated. Over the road, out about 2 to 3 weeks. Out about 2 to 3 weeks at a time in the refrigerated position. And flatbed, I can get you home I can get you home on a weekly basis and refrigerated too. And then flatbed is home on a weekly basis or every other weekend. I never got my first part of what you are talking about. What? We're talking about driving positions and where they're available. Just answering some questions about Decker Truck Line. What we have. Montgomery, Alabama, I have flatbed, 25 years experience, 17 at your last job. Fantastic. Congratulations. 70 cents a mile that's our top pay, and that's where you'll be at. Mostly tarp. Dustin, yes. Are your flatbeds all tarp loads? For the most part, yeah, they are. TMC for 2 years. Robbie, awesome. Oklahoma, flatbed and refrigerated. Dallas, flatbed and refrigerated, over the road in both cases. What is the criteria for the quarterly bonus? Joseph, so, hey, by the way, flatbed criteria for the quarterly bonus. The sign-on bonus. Same as your guaranteed pay bonus. Be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals. No CSA violations for the week. No preventable accidents for the week. Get your paperwork in by Sunday night at 10 p.m. And no load refusals. Did I say that? No load refusals. Get your paperwork in. CSA violations. No preventable accidents. Oh, on-time delivery. That was the one I was missing. Sorry. But you must be compliant at least 70% of the time to get the $12.50, and then the additional 5 cents a mile is for all the miles over 25,000 for the quarter. For the reefer division, for the flatbed, it's 20,000. Sorry, you guys. Bessemer, I have flatbed home weekly, and we've got some refrigerated as well. Home every 2 to 3 weeks in refrigerated. Any Southeast lanes? Nothing. Ice tray. I don't have any Southeast lanes that are dedicated or regional. I have Southeast lanes, definitely, but they run into the Midwest as well. So it's not just Southeast. Nothing local in North Mississippi or the Memphis area. Nope. Over the road in Oklahoma, both in the refrigerated division and the flatbed division. Yes, I know. You can tell somebody that, but yeah. I'm really surprised I haven't seen more on this TikTok. Great idea. Thank you. Rates haven't gone up for 20 years. It's worth Panda Express paying 20. Actually, I started in the industry. When I started there, I think the high pay was 32 cents a mile when I started in the industry. I haven't been in the industry for 20 years yet. Not quite. And we almost doubled our rate of pay back in 2018 or 2019. Yeah. So some rates have gone up. what does the job pay? It pays based off your experience, Jordan. So the guarantee is $1,000 a week, but your rate of pay per mile and the miles you run are going to be more than that. Like, it just depends on how much experience. City Driver 75 says, I worked for Decker in 2014 and did flatbed training at the main office and was there for 2 months. Hey, City Driver. I'm going to say City Driver. We don't have a lot of. My company, Rob, yeah. What about Alabama? Alabama, we have refrigerated and flatbed, mostly flatbed. We can go home weekly on a flatbed division. Yep, runs Midwest, Southeast, all of the above. Flatbed. Anything in Oklahoma? Refrigerated and flatbed, home every 2 to 3 weeks in refrigerated and home every other weekend in flatbed. I'm out of Georgia and have 20 years. Billy Bongs, you have 70 cents a mile with your 20 years experience, 70 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem, and we can go home weekly. Well, it depends on where in Georgia you live, but if you live around the Atlanta area, home weekly in flatbed, home every 2 to 3 weeks in the refrigerated. Home time for refrigerated, Darren said Oklahoma, 2 to 3 weeks. You're out 2 to 3 weeks at a time. It's a day and a half for every 7 days you're out. So if you are home or if you're out 3 weeks, you figure 4 or 5 days home on your home time. We don't do a lot of oversized loads or over dimension loads. Nope. Like rare. What kind of trucks do you have auto? We are mostly automatic. They're mostly 579 Peterbilts, some 730, 760, 780, and 860 Volvos, and a few Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions. They have APUs, refrigerators, microwaves. My phone's dying. APUs, refrigerators, microwaves, CB units, televisions, Epic View satellite TV, it's company paid. Did I say APUs? All of that. Jordan says, I'm a hazmat driver, off every weekend, home every day, and make over 100 grand, improve my income. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, hazmat, no doubt that's the truth there. Thank you, Travel at Well, I appreciate it. Nope, we don't have any hotshot. Smitty says, I live in Virginia on the I-80 or on 81 corridor. Is there available and what's the home time? Over the road flatbed and home every other weekend. Based out of Fort Dodge, Iowa, and then we have a terminal in Missoula, Montana, and Bessemer, Alabama. And Das Dispatcher says Alabama. Yep, over the road refrigerated and some home weekly flatbed as well as home every other weekend. Ohio, we have refrigerated and flatbed. I'm blinking here. Refrigerated and flatbed over the road. We have some home weekly, a lot of home weekly and flatbed too for Ohio. Virginia, we have over the road flatbed. Flatbed in Ohio, yes, and some areas of Ohio do guarantee the $14.50 a week, which is our higher. Travel at Will says, I know Missoula, leave truck at terminal. What about Spokane? Do you have deliveries in Spokane area? We do, and you can bring the truck home with you into the Spokane area, where Missoula, our Montana peeps, yeah, you leave the tractor and trailer in Missoula on your home time. But yeah, in Spokane, we've got enough freight close enough to you can bring the truck home with you. From Virginia, I just said that one. I worked with Decker back. They still ran yellow steel wheels on the drive.